Next guest we bring on the splash of gas is driver of the 55 Mobil 1 Toyota Camry for Venturini Motorsports, Isabella Robusto. Welcome to the show, Isabella. Thank you for
Yeah,
joining.
yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. You started racing at a young age, starting with karts, progressing into bandoleros, legends, into late models, then ARCA. How has racing so many different types of cars benefited you as a driver?
Yeah, I think it just gives you a wide range of kind of racecraft. You obviously have to drive ovals very different than road courses, same with all the different varieties of cars. And so I think it just helped grow my racecraft faster and kind of have a more kind of broad range. So when I do go to new tracks that I haven't been to before, or I get into a different type of car that I haven't been into before, I feel like I can pick it up faster than someone that didn't grow up running all different types of tracks and cars.
Cool insight. Appreciate you touching on that. Big fan of short track racing. Was at the South Carolina 400 when you podiumed in 22. Late model short track racing can get physical at times. What helped you find success among the late model ranks, propelling you into ARCA?
Yeah, late models are a very unique car. I figured out pretty quickly that you do have to keep your elbows up, especially kind of with the bigger races like the 400 or um, any of the Cars Tour races. It gets pretty physical just because the cars are easy to save if you kind of get knocked sideways or whatever it might be. And so, yeah, I learned from a young age of racing, you just have to be able to keep your elbows out, and if someone kind of moves you out of the way, you got to be able to be okay with moving them right back. So,
Gotcha. Can get crazy out there in the late models for sure. Fortunately, in 2023, you suffer a concussion and have to sit out the whole year. An athlete myself growing up dealt with similar issues, missing extended time from competition. As an athlete, how are you able to overcome that adversity and get back into the car?
it definitely was really hard, both physically and mentally. But yeah, I had a lot of help with the Toyota development crew over at the Toyota Performance Center, and we found the specialists that we needed to kind of help me get back into the car. And it took longer than we all expected, but I'm super thankful for Toyota sticking by me and just kind of helping me through the process. And when I was ready to get back into the car and back to 100%, they were ready to kind of throw me back in, and we got back to the plan that we had before my crash.
Awesome. It's been great to see you back at the track for sure. Moving to the Monster Mile of Dover this past Friday, you qualify seventh. How were you feeling on the high banks going to green? Seemed fast from the grandstands.
It was very fun. It was a very different track than I think I've ever raced. And the first lap or two of practice, it was kind of surreal of how much force your body takes kind of going down into the corner. And so once I figured out kind of what that feeling is supposed to be, I feel like we were able to start working on the car and myself, and just got faster and faster. And qualifying, I could have qualified a little bit better than I did, but slowly worked our way back through the field and the race. And yeah, by the last kind of stage, I felt like we were in a good position. We had a good balanced car, and we were in the top three. So overall, I think it was a really good race. Some small things that we can still improve on, especially going into IRP in Iowa in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I was super happy with the outcome.
Awesome. Thank you for touching on that. What more did you need to get past Murphy and contend with Queen? And how would you say your day went?
Yeah, I think the day went really well. I feel like Murphy and I were very similar pace wise. I just pushed a little bit harder than he did in the first part of the stage, and um, with that, he just had better tires for the last 10 laps. And so I feel like I could have saved a little bit more instead of trying to chase after the 28 right at the start. And yeah, the 28's just kind of in its own league right now. And so um, we definitely went back and looked at some things that I think we can all improve on. The team, myself, kind of as a whole. And yeah, I think we'll keep working towards it this year.
Gotcha. Appreciate the honesty. Dover was officially the end of the first half of the 2025 ARCA season, with IRP being the 11th of 20 races. How would you sum up the first half of this season, and what are your goals for the second half?
Yeah, I feel like the first half we were a little bit inconsistent, kind of finishing wise. I had a couple troubles of my own, getting kind of wrapped up in some other people's mess that we probably shouldn't have, so didn't have the finishes that we wanted to, especially in that kind of middle stretch of tracks. And yeah, going into this second half of the season, we know we have the speed and we can run up front. We just need to make sure to stay out of trouble and minimize mistakes that we can have. And so I feel like the last three races have definitely progressed in a positive direction, and so we'll just continue to do that and make little gains instead of trying to kind of make all these big changes. And yeah, I think we're in a pretty good spot, especially heading into the second half of the season.
Seems like you have a great plan. After the ARCA race on Friday, you head over to Virginia International for the GR Cup. Your twin brother Will was also driving in this one. You come out with a ninth and eighth place finish in those two races. Congratulations on being the highest finishing female in both. What did you take away from that experience?
Yeah, kind of brought me back to my roots. I've only raced that car one time 3 years ago, and so just getting back into it in such a competitive series, everyone's within about a tenth of a second of each other on a road course. So it's super competitive, but yeah, just kind of got me back into what a momentum car is, and it's been a while since I've raced something like that, and so yeah, just kind of working on racecraft more on a momentum car base versus one with kind of a higher horsepower like I've raced the last couple of years. And I felt like it was pretty positive. It was also really fun to kind of go back and race with my brother. We raced pretty hard in the first race, and yeah, I think it was good to work on my racecraft some more, especially just getting in other types of cars that I haven't driven that much.
Does sound like a lot of fun. As mentioned, you were just at VIR in the GR car. The first road course of the ARCA season at Lime Rock, you finished 10th. The series will travel to upstate New York for the road course at Watkins Glen on August 8th. How would you say the road course package that Venturini is bringing to these tracks is, and are you looking forward to another road course?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to another road course. I think we had a pretty good car at Lime Rock, just has a couple of mechanical issues during the last half of the race, so we lost a good amount of track position, but I felt confident in the handling of the car, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Watkins Glen. I've never been there, but looks like a really fun track, and I'm excited to get there in a couple of weeks.
Awesome. Last question. Obviously, you have your hands full with your racing schedule. You're also a full time student studying aerospace engineering online at Arizona State University. How are you able to balance racing and school life as a young adult? That's very impressive.
Lots of time management. Growing up, especially racing full time through elementary, middle, and high school helped with the time management side. Just knowing when to kind of flip on and off the different switches from focusing 100% on racing or 100% on school, or even if it might be just having some time off, making sure that I fully focus on whatever the task is at hand. And so yeah, I've learned a lot of time management, and my evenings are mostly filled with schoolwork now.
Gotcha. Seems like you have a full plate, but in the right direction. So, really appreciate your time. Best of luck at IRP this weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep. Thank you.